Welcome back, folks. You're watching Cape Rugby TV, of course, 9 o'clock and to 10 o'clock on a Wednesday evening. Of course, the repeat is at 8 till 9 on a Saturday morning. So make sure you catch Cape Rugby TV. Of course, thank you to our sponsors that are on board with us. Score Energy Drinks. Make sure you stay tuned throughout the rest of the show. You can win for yourself a case of Score Energy Drinks. And then, of course, CyberSmart, as you can see behind me on the screen. CyberSmart, your internet service provider, coming on board with Cape Rugby TV. Of course, before the break, we spoke a little bit about recruitment to Shannon, and I'm going to pass the same question on to Simpiwe. Simpiwe, talk to us a little about BeesBusy's recruitment. Of course, you've got a great catchment area there, quite a lot of rugby players. You shouldn't have a lack of numbers, or how do things look at the moment?
Things are looking good. Remember, BeesBusy is a huge club. We've got a huge development, young players coming up from the juniors of the club. So we don't have a problem with that recruitment and stuff, because some of them now have reached the age of 21 and 22, so they're ready to step up for the club. And then yes, we are welcome to all everyone that wants to join the club. And lastly, we usually use the last batch to recruit from the Easter tournament, which is sponsored by SCORE. That will be held at Khayelitsha by Blue Jet. So that will be our last recruitment activity.
Yeah, no, I always know BeesBusy is one of the clubs that you definitely want to go down to and watch at some point in the season. There's always a real vibe down at BeesBusy. And what a pleasure to be in a position where you don't have to do any recruitment throughout the year in terms of numbers, getting players down. But a little bit contrast to what you have to deal with there at Goodwood, Shannon. We've spoken a little bit about it. Where are you guys at now? You say you on a pre-season camp potentially. What does your pre-season still look like? We're still a month away from potentially the first game in the league.
Yeah, our camp is the 22nd of March, but before we get there, we still have Atlantis and obviously Wellington this weekend. And with the camp, Morgan, that's just for us, how can I put it now, a last minute or chance to look at what we have and don't have. But like I said, at the end of the day, or where we're at now currently, we're on a good wicket, and we're planning to take 40 guys with us for that weekend. And hopefully they will come good out of it. Yeah.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question, is how many players are you actually taking down to this camp? Because often we find, now you take 40 players, what about the fringe players? How do you keep those fringe players happy within the squad, staying at the club? If they see they're not part of that 40, I mean, do they go to a different club and go and try a different, different place to play rugby? How do you keep that greater squad happy? Because we all know 40 sounds like a lot now, yes, but come the middle of the season, a couple of injuries, 40 is not so much anymore.
Exactly.
You've got to field the first or second team, potentially a 30.
Yeah, at the end of the day, what we have been doing for the past weeks, Morgan, is come Tuesday night, we identify our 40 guys basically, what we do want to work with, or we have a plan with basically. And going into our camp, most of that guys, 90% of that guys will be there. And like you said, it is difficult because you've got that one or two blokes that's not sure where they want to go still. And the league starts on the 5th of April. So we want to keep the guys. In a perfect world, you want to keep everyone. But like I always tell the guys, not everyone can play first team. But the door is still open. The door is still open. That's why these friendlies. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we spoke about it a little bit off air with Alistair Tace as well, who will be joining us in a couple of minutes, so don't go anywhere. But we spoke about, of course, we know the 15th of March is now the cutoff date for player movement. So, Simpiwe, I see you smiling there and laughing. Are you going to make sure you play your players on the 15th of March, or, so they can't go anywhere? I know you don't have a problem with player numbers, but I mean, also, you've also got to trim your squad at some point. Having a lot of numbers isn't always necessarily a luxury, because it could be to your detriment. You could have 3 or 4 or 5 good fly-offs at your club. Now you've got to start with one, you put one on the bench. What are the other 2 doing? Maybe they're looking for a different place to play. So what is your strategy around the 15th of March and the importance of that date to keep players at your club?
Unfortunately, I cannot disclose that here because they will be watching. But obviously, we've lost some few good players to some clubs. But for now, we just have to be smart about it. Try and keep everyone around interested, trying to keep everyone closer. The list must be closer so that no one must know what exactly the coach is planning about them until the last moment. Yeah. So that I'm trying to have that going to the friendlies, try to have much player rotation squad so that everyone can see that the coach is looking, the management is looking, the team is applauding them. So I can't disclose what is my strategy.
Yeah, I mean, look, folks, it is a tough one to sort of get the answers to. Myself and Shannon also spoke about it. I'm of the mindset, of course, as the head coach at Kraaifontein, I'm of the mindset that, if a player wants to go, he's going to go irrespective. I mean, I don't want an unhappy player potentially at my club. But I mean, Shannon, that we can only have with the luxury of numbers. You know, there's certain clubs that don't necessarily have those numbers. What is your strategy potentially around it? I mean, you don't want to give too much away right now, of course. Simpiwe makes us aware of that, so I must be careful of it. But, you know, what is your strategy around this 15th of March cutoff date? Is it that important, would you say?
Yes and no. What we're doing at the moment, Morgan, is we're giving each and every bloke a chance to play, basically. So come the 15th, I mean, me as a head coach can go back to him and you say, you know what, we gave you a chance. You had your chance. And after that, if you don't make the squad, it's up to you if you want to leave.
Yeah.
But for us now, it's just important that we make sure we give each and every bloke a chance to play.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I suppose game time is of utmost importance, and we've got to try and give as many players a chance to play rugby as possible. Of course, we also know that you know, the old debate of whether the results matter in pre-season friendlies. That's a whole debate all on its own. Shannon, would you agree?
The difficult one again. Look, I believe people follow winning teams, so you want to win. And I always say to the guys, you know, when you win, you practice better come the next Tuesday. But when you lose, normally our coaches go back to the drawing board and you make all kinds of plans for the next game. So it's a bit of both, I guess. But at the end of the day, like I said, it comes down to make sure you got the right mix and make sure everybody plays. So, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Getting the mix right is often very, very important. So, Simpiwe, results important for you in this pre-season? Or are you looking at more giving as many players as possible an opportunity to play some rugby?
Not much. But for me, it's about the team spirit, making sure the guys are still in a good space, good head of mind, preparing for the season ahead. But I'm not looking to get in hiding. But at the same time, but at the same time, I need to keep my guys positive and excited about the game, and also the morale of the team must be high. So if we get lose by 2 or 3 points, it's fine. But make sure that the team is in good spirits. That's most important for me going to the league.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, I say it again. You know, team culture and all those kinds of things are of utmost importance at this stage of the season. Creating the right culture within your club is sometimes more important than the results. The results will come with a sort of positive team culture. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me on Cape Rugby TV this evening. Shannon, all the very best for what's the pre-season and then into the start of the season.
Thank you very much, Morgan.
And then, of course, Simpiwe, seems like you're getting something right there. Congratulations on being promoted, I suppose, from assistant coach to head coach at BeesBusy. And yeah, all the very best for what lies ahead as we head towards the start of what's going to be a very, very exciting club rugby season.
Thank you.
That's it, folks. We're going to take a quick ad break, and when we come back from the ad break, we're going to catch up with Walid, of course, Walid Brown, who is the immediate past chairman at Primrose. And we're also going to chat to Alistair Tace, of course, and no stranger to Cape Rugby TV. He was on last week, and the current director of rugby at CPUT. And they're competing in, of course, the Varsity Shield. So we're going to have a quick chat to Alistair and see how his team are faring. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes.